Hi, everybody. This is the Keeper of the Gainz podcast. I'm your host, John Gallup, and my first guest today is my beautiful wife, Danielle.
Hello.
And today we want to just kind of do a pilot podcast and just talk to you guys about what this podcast is going to be about, and also just a quick overview of Danny and I's story together and our involvement in the fitness community.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess we'll take it from the top. This podcast is going to be focused on the Wichita area, so Wichita, Derby, Andover area. And we're going to be interviewing guests in the fitness community, everything from athletes to coaches, business owners, professors, nutritionists, chiropractors, functional medicine doctors, and pretty much whoever I want to talk to. And so that's the plan. What's going to make this podcast unique is the fact that it is focused, the majority at least is going to be focused on people in this area, because there's a lot of cool people that have really inspiring stories in this area, and there's not really a great platform for them to get their stories out, and we feel like we can be their platform for them to get their stories out there, and for you to be inspired and maybe learn something that you can apply to your own life and to your own fitness.
Mm-hmm.
Me personally, I am a CrossFit coach. I am the head coach at CrossFit Wichita. That being said, this podcast is, like I said, going to have much more than just CrossFit topics. So we're going to be talking about bodybuilding, powerlifting, strongman, so gymnastics. So there's going to be a lot more than just CrossFit talk on here, although I will be biased towards CrossFit. But my wife, she's actually competed in a bodybuilding-like sport before. She was in the bikini division.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm very familiar with that sport as well and have a lot of respect for it. And I don't want people viewing this to immediately think that just because I'm a CrossFitter, I can't appreciate other sports as well.
Right.
And then Danny, why don't you tell them how you're involved in the health and wellness community here?
Yeah, I'm an aspiring nurse. I will be graduating in 1 year. Don't think I'm counting down the days. No, I am. And I just, my passion is about just health and wellness as a whole, and really preventative care, how we're going to keep people out of those hospital beds with those chronic diseases, and staying fit, staying active, staying involved in things that you are passionate about and that gets you excited. Those are going to be what ties into keeping us healthy. And that's just, I love people and I want to help them with nursing.
So quick story, I guess, on Danny and I and how we met and how we got here. I'm originally from Michigan, and I moved out to California after I joined the Marines, and I got stationed in Camp Pendleton. And Danny moved out there because her brother was stationed in the Marines over in Camp Pendleton as well.
Right.
And so we met out there and fell in love, got married. And then after I got out of the military, we stayed in California for almost a year.
Mm-hmm.
And I interned there to refine my coaching craft under some great coaches out there.
Right.
And just as I was getting done with my internship out there, we decided to move back to Kansas, which is Danny's hometown. She's from Derby. And so moved back to Kansas, Wichita, and we both got jobs. I got a job out at CrossFit Wichita, and Danny was working for Galicia Medical Center, and then entered the nursing program full-time after that. And then we decided to move back to her hometown in Derby because we have a kid now, and there's free babysitting out in Derby.
Gotta love that. Shout out Jimmy and Mom.
So anyway, that's what brings us out here, and we love this town, and we both share a lot of pride in this town and its surrounding areas.
Oh, yeah.
And as a result, we want to, get people's stories out there. And we also want to try and have as positive an impact on this community as we can.
Right.
Getting people healthy and getting people motivated to be healthy. And also learning the best ways to achieve those goals. So that's basically the plan of this podcast. That's how we got here. So one more time, we are going to be interviewing athletes, coaches, business owners, chiropractors, nutritionists, probably throwing some psychologists in there. So we'll have a lot of guests coming on board, And we'll probably couple that along with some solo podcasts that I'll just do by myself to just provide some information. But once again, this podcast isn't just an information podcast on how-tos, although there will be plenty of how-tos, tips and tricks to help with your fitness journey. But a lot of it's going to be stories from people, whether it's stories from athletes or coaches, etc.,
right.
On how they got there, how they overcame their obstacles in their lives, whether it was injuries or, things that happened in their family, and how they bounced back from that and became successful.
Right.
And, I think stories are a great way for us to be inspired and for us to learn and learn from other people's successes and other people's mistakes and how we can apply that to our lives. So that is the plan. This podcast will keep pretty short, but the interviews will probably be a little bit longer than this, maybe 30 minutes to an hour. We'll see. I got a couple guests lined up this week. It'll mostly be me and a guest. You guys will hear from Danny occasionally, but she won't be the main host.
I'll hop on every now and then.
She's just a guest today. So, all right, guys. Well, we look forward to bringing you guys some great content, and we'll see you guys around.
Bye.